God, that is deep. What did you get me into today?
What did I get me into?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pat Outdoors. Today we're going to be taking out my NIU XQi3 electric dirt bike. We took it out a few weeks ago for some off-road testing, but we were only able to get about 22 miles of riding in before getting the charge down to 16%. But we were riding at a pretty fast pace since we were with some Surons that were modified, an Ultra B and even a Stark. We're doing a lot of hill climbs and whatnot, so it drained the power quite a bit. But we should be getting a lot more riding time in today because I actually have two 72 volt 32 amp hour batteries with me. We're going to be riding with my buddy Rob, who's going to be on a brand new Honda CRF 250 RX, so we'll see if we can keep up.
Yo, this trail that we just got to has like a bunch of goats just roaming around. It's pretty cool. Haven't seen that on a trail before. I'm kind of glad that I rode this bike instead of my Talaria today. The Talaria actually rides pretty stiff with the new suspension. Let's see how waterproof this XQi3 is.
They said they recommend green to start.
That's green? Okay. I'll follow your lead, bro. Dude, what kind of trail did Robbie take me to? This is some bullshit. This thing can hill climb, even on some rocky stuff. No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I'm trying to find one that's not so rocky.
Right.
That was crazy.
We're gonna try this way now.
So that's what, orange next?
Yeah.
Well, good luck. We'll see you
Good luck, man.
With no rocks, let me know.
Yeah, so I'm looking for like more of a flowy trail, kind of like what we're on right now. I do not like this. The problem with these electric bikes is the tiny tires. Like, I can barely get any traction in the wet conditions.
That's crazy to me that they don't consider that seriously technical.
I want to see what technical looks like.
Yeah.
This is definitely putting this electric bike through its paces. Like, I only have so much ground clearance.
I'm fully expecting you to bash that stick shape by the end of the day.
Probably got a couple dents in it already. This is not an enduro bike. break time. Robbie, I'm gonna remember this recommendation today. And to answer your question from earlier, I do not think Stoltz is gonna do this. Dude, I wish I can keep my throttle just like at 20% and then modulate it with my clutch, but I don't have that option. What did you get me into today?
What did I get me into?
Sport. Dude, that chick at the front entrance is probably laughing her ass off right now.
No, the goddamn pamphlet says blue is intermediate to beginner.
I mean, after seeing that, that doesn't look so bad.
Exactly.
That sounded like it hurt from all the way down here. Oh no.
What?
Your radiator, bro.
Oh, sweet. I mean, we can try and go all the way back. I forget where the turnoff was. I bashed that radiator. So glad it didn't break.
Well, I hear Onyx Off-Road's a good app for this type of stuff. Just don't pair it with T-Mobile.
Yeah, let's go left.
What's up?
This is nice, man. Where'd you buy it?
Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can control, you can talk.
I'm probably screaming right now because all I can hear is him talking.
What this guy was referring to is this intercom system that's mounted on my helmet, which has a mic on the front and some speakers on the sides. You can use it to listen to music on your phone or communicate with up to 6 people at the same time on the trails. Only takes a few minutes to install and you're able to tuck all the wiring behind the padding. It's perfect for trail riding because it's got great clarity even hundreds of yards away. If you're interested in checking out this product, I'll have a link to it in the description below.
That is electric, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
They said the blue and green rocks are crazy, and the orange is a lot smoother. Like, just stay on orange.
This better make up for the day, bro. Oh, that is a lot smoother. All right. Is it me or the labeling is definitely backwards? Like this, I can do this all day. Jesus Christ. Yeah, definitely one downside of the XQi3 is lacking a rear fender. My back is completely drenched right now. That is certainly rocky. I don't know if you can hear that.
Well, the good news is the path up actually looks pretty good.
Well, the good news is your bike's not gonna short circuit itself 7 miles into the woods.
No, but it might overheat.
Oh my God, that is deep.
Oh yeah, dude. That's impressive.
That was a section. I like it.
That was a section, but it was doable.
Yeah.
I still think that was more doable than what we did earlier.
Yeah. This place is just backwards with labeling.
You want to keep going for a little bit before we take like a break? Well, it's full auto.
What kind of gun is that? I'm definitely enjoying this much more than the smaller tracks.
So much more. I'm actually kind of a little bummed that we went there first, but honestly, like I think mentally it set us up well to do better here.
I'm pretty much dragging rear tire right now. Oh, I bottomed out the bike so many times. This is definitely the gnarliest stuff I've ever ridden on. Oh, these pegs are just getting caught.
Found the orange triangle.
Back on track. It's probably one of those X'd out cut throughs.
That was gnarly, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, the loose rocks will get you. Yeah, definitely the right. I mean, it's pretty forgiving. So you get to the top and it bends right. There's a big rock in the middle, so just scoot right as it curves to the right. That was a lot of loose stuff. I have no idea how I made it all the way up here. Oh shit, dude, this is a shooting range. You see those targets?
Oh my god.
We're right at the shooting range.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Dude, we had to have made a wrong turn.
We're gonna be at the end of the shooting range as soon as we curve left.
Well, and you don't even know if you can get through. You don't know what the bottom of this is. I think we went this way. Here was the left.
Oh, the lakes are over here. Oh, we're upside down. There we go. Man, it's a big park, and we literally picked this spot.
The worst spot.
All right, let's just get out of here as fast as possible.
So my camera died a little over 2 hours into the ride, but we were able to complete 17 miles of rough terrain, and we only got the first battery charged down to 39%. Since we're not constantly pulling a high amount of power at high speeds, we're able to do this type of riding on one charge all day. I definitely took a few falls though, so I've got some bruises all along my side, and so does the bike. I noticed a few things while I was power washing it. Not really sure how effective the skid plate is because it actually buckled and shifted over to the right side of the bike, and you can see that the phase wire connector to the motor is all bashed up and cracked. So I'm not sure how that's going to be as far as protection from water long term, so I might have to do something about that. The skid plate though definitely took the most beating. It's all buckled and twisted up, so I'm gonna have to take that off and straighten it some before we take this bike out again. The sensor on the back of the kickstand also fell off. I noticed it was hanging during my ride, so we ended up zip tying it into the swing arm just to keep it safe for now. And then I disabled the sensor on the app so it doesn't keep the bike from riding. Some squeaking going on in the back suspension. I'm suspecting that I just gotta re-lubricate all the bushings and whatnot, and that'll go away pretty quickly. So you can notice here, there's a lot of the anodizing finish that's worn off from the frame, the swing arm, and the subframe. This is actually not from falling or scratches. This is just constantly rubbing on my dirt bike boots that I had on. I typically like to hug the bike with my legs so I can keep my arms loose while I'm riding off-road. So that's why it's got these black marks up here at the top of my boots. But I'm surprised that wore through that much just after a few trail rides. The end cap on the handlebar also broke. And what sucks more is I actually took this to the chest on my last fall. One mod that this bike definitely needs if you're gonna do some off-road riding in the wet is a rear fender. This short fender does absolutely nothing. Like, my back was completely soaked whenever I went over any puddle. So you can see it ends before you even get halfway through the wheel. So the water's just slinging on my back. Just for comparison's sake, check out the RTR. You see how the rear fender goes over the whole rear wheel. Overall though, the bike did pretty good considering it is not meant for this type of riding. It's got 19-inch wheels on there with kind of mountain bike tires on there. And the suspension is simply not tuned for that type of riding. It's probably better off for light off-road, maybe like some smooth single track. If I knew what type of terrain we were going to be riding on today, we were going to do some enduro type of stuff, I would have busted out my YZ250 from storage. It's not really this bike's fault. It is definitely Robbie's fault for not telling me what type of riding we're doing. But if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you like this kind of content, want to keep up with some of my rides and some of my bikes, consider subscribing to this channel and turn your bell notification on. But this is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching.